Is social media just social media anymore, or is it selective social media? Namaste to all of you. Welcome back to my channel. I'm ANVI, and once again thank you so much for being here with me. As always, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, as well as click the notification icon so that you don't miss out on my future videos. So when it comes to President Donald Trump, Twitter CFO has said that even if he is to stand for the elections in the next term, they are not going to allow Trump back onto the Twitter platform. On the other hand, when it comes to India, this is what they had to say. We have withheld some of the accounts identified in the blocking orders under our country withheld content policy within India only. These accounts continue to be available outside of India. However, we have not taken any action on accounts that consist of news media entities, journalists, activists, and politicians. We will continue to advocate for the right of free expression on behalf of the people we serve and are exploring options under Indian law. So even after the Indian government specifically asked for certain accounts which were directly inciting violence in India by running and trending hashtags such as farmer genocide and whatnot, Twitter did not pay any heed to it. It put its own rules and laws above it and has refused to ban these accounts. If I'm not wrong, they were banned for a couple of hours yesterday, and that was about it, and that too only in India, as it mentions here. So when it comes to free corporations like these, it's a social media platform which is made for the public to use at their discretion. And fine, if you have certain rules about violence or whatever it is, it needs to be a constant value that you uphold, not something that you wish to uphold depending on where it suits you and where it doesn't suit you. So you have the audacity to ban the president of USA forever from your platform, and yet you say that, politicians and activists in India who are inciting violence, blah blah blah, whatever it is, they are free to do so, because who the hell cares about India, right? On one hand, you claim that you are this platform for people to voice their views and opinions, no matter how different or how unexpected or whatever it is that they might be. On the other hand, you also take it upon yourself to judge which views are okay, which views are not okay. So fine, if you thought that Trump was inciting violence and you decided to take the step to ban him, then I think it would be common sense for everybody else to expect you to uphold that same line of thought when it comes to anybody else in the world inciting violence. It doesn't have to do with what narrative it comes from. It doesn't have to do with what party it comes from. It doesn't have to do with which side and which viewpoint that you think is okay and which you think is not okay. It's not for you to judge. Or perhaps the meaning of the term genocide has changed since I last heard of it. I mean, genocide still means violence, right? Genocide still means the wiping out of an entire group or an entire community, right? How is that not violating Twitter's own policies? If, first of all, I don't agree that it should run on its own judgmental policies. If it is a free platform, it is a free platform. Or if it says that it needs its own policies for public safety and general safety, then these policies need to be consistent, right? They need to be consistent no matter who it is, what it is, where it is from. It should be unconditional. I also think that it's pretty obvious that a country, a nation's laws for safety and regulations and rules and regulations are much more essential, much more important, and much more necessary than the laws of, say, a particular platform who has been given the permission to operate in the said country. So in this case, in spite of India requesting that there were these accounts which were threatening India's safety, Twitter did not listen to these rules and assumed that its own policies, its own judgments were greater than the nation in which it was given this permission to operate. Now, of course, when it comes to entrepreneurship, India is not to be left behind at all. So there is this new platform called Koo. This is not a sponsored video, and personally I am in a place where I'm actually deleting my social medias one by one, except for YouTube, which I use as a means of expression rather than a means of conversation as such. So I'll make a whole different video about that. But anyways, I think the platform saw a massive flood of new users coming in yesterday, and it had crashed for a while, but I think it's back up again. So you might want to have a look at that. I am also seriously thinking of signing out of Twitter, deleting the account. I don't know if I will do it or not, because Twitter is for me personally a means of getting my news from, getting to see viewpoints and opinions of various different people on one platform. So in that way it's convenient, but at the same time, when it comes to your ethics and values, these are the questions that I have in mind, where I think tomorrow if I say something which Twitter does not agree with, will my account be deleted? Do I have to frame my thoughts according to what Twitter thinks is okay or not? Do I have to analyze my own way of thinking and my own intellect, thinking of how I will be judged, being scared of how I will be judged and if I will be judged, and all these unnecessary nonsense which shouldn't be in a free world, in a free platform as well. Now, as a common citizen, as a normal person who sometimes wishes to use Twitter to express her views, what am I supposed to do when I see these kind of situations around me? I mean, if the platform is not ready to listen to the rules and regulations of a country, then where exactly do we individuals stand? It says it fights for sovereignty of individual expression and freedom and blah blah, but if it is not shown in the practical sense, then it's pretty tough to trust it. And yesterday's incident is that another YouTube channel called String Reveals put up a video which exposed money trails of funding, which kind of linked a lot of activists, a lot of media portals in India, and today it was banned. Personally, I like the content of the video, but I do believe that it should have been put across in a much more sophisticated manner. So if we make an attempt, a deliberate effort to make ourselves a bit more softer, a bit more polished, a bit more sophisticated in the way we express, I think it will go miles and miles and miles in making sure that our narrative is much more stronger. Now, as I said, that was a slightly deviating topic, but now coming back, the YouTube video has been banned today. A lot of other accounts, a lot of people who support the channel, the String Reveals channel, have themselves uploaded the video yet again, and it is being circulated. It is trending right now on #1. So again, my basic question is this: if a social media platform in today's globalized world, which basically stands for freedom of expression and sovereignty and individual rights, is going to start shutting your mouth when you say something which it does not agree with, where do we all go? I mean, there is no end to the amount of apps that we can create. There is no end to entrepreneurship, of course. So app upon app, app upon app, platforms upon platforms, but that is not a sustainable solution. We really need to think much deeper, think of the values themselves as to what exactly are we as citizens, as we as the common people are allowing in day-to-day life, which might seem like very small little things, very inconsequential things, but at the end of the day they make a huge amount of difference. And as I mentioned, the string reveals video also links people with the people and the names that are mentioned in the fortunately or unfortunately leaked Greta's toolkit. So, but does it actually warrant the deleting of his video? That's a very big question we need to ponder about. And as I said, the matter does hold weight. It is the YouTuber's own analysis, own hours of hard work and effort in sitting and researching everything. But again, as I said, there is a certain way of putting across things, which is where we all need to come together again. And I'm not saying we need to change our views. I'm not saying we need to dilute down our viewpoints. I am definitely not saying that we need to give up on what we think is true and the truth that we stand for. But as I said, there is a way to do things. For me personally, the answer to all this is that it is us as individuals who always are very proud of our freedom of expression and the right to express, that the responsibility lies on. It is not the media's, it is not the social media platforms, it is not these big corporations, and it is not the government which needs to dictate and which should be allowed to dictate what is right and what is wrong for us. Our judgment is enough, is more than enough, as long as our judgment is based on truth, on solid research, on reasoning, critical thinking, and of course sophistication in the way we express things. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the strings video, what you thought of the Twitter's current behavior in terms of banning accounts in India. And as always, until next time, take care.